imagine one former governor talking about, slapping another former governor if they had met. Hopefully, the party, or let me say the president, I know the president has been reaching out to Kwakwanso. Maybe his intervention can help to soften that nexus. And I mean, in politics, never say never.
Yeah. Also in politics, Bolahan, remember, there's no permanent friendship or enmity.
It is a matter of interest. And if you can make the interest to align, people will align as well.
All right. To this one, 10th National Assembly, LP disown 2 lawmakers-elect over comment on zoning.
Days ago, when the president had visited the lawmakers, and one of the LP lawmakers, I remember one of them, Olga from Abia, had made very glowing comments about the president. He said he didn't believe he was that intelligent, that the guy spoke very smartly, and, that he felt that it was his best day. In fact, that was how he described the visit of the president. Now, because it's from Labour Party, even if he felt that way, which, I mean, the way he was expressing himself, most likely that was how he felt. Maybe he was expecting a feeble, a sick person who will come there uncoordinated and whatever. But apparently the president surprised him with his level of coordination and probably the engagement that they had. So in opposition politics, you must continually toe the line of your opposition is not doing well, it's not doing well, it's not doing well. So for him to have publicly come out in addressing the press, praise the president, who is of a different party from his, it was unacceptable in political commentaries. So that was why his party is disowning him now. That look, you're on your own. No, we don't send you to go to praise the president who is from another party. But in reality, I felt the guy might just be overwhelmed. A second part to that story is to ask a fundamental question. What will happen to Labour Party if Peter Obi did not succeed at the court? Will it stay firmly as it is currently? If its members are already feeling that way, or if some of its members are already feeling that way about the ruling party.
All right. Hear this one. Any roadblock on our way to progress would be removed, Tinubu.
I pray so. And there are a lot of those roadblocks. One of it is the one that the Niger Delta guys have pointed out to him this morning. You want to stop oil theft? Be ready to step on toes. It appears as if the man is not afraid of stepping on toes, which was why right from day one, from that inaugural speech, we saw issues around subsidy is gone. He also made statements that were not direct about our monetary policies. And you could be sure that what he was saying in that inaugural speech about our monetary policy is that, look, Mr. CBN Governor, I don't think we can work together. Your policies will clash with my ideas about where I want to take this nation. So it's a man who could be that decisive. So we're looking at that space and wishing him good luck as he proceeds with that.
And Godspeed.
And Godspeed as well, because, I mean, the countdown is there. Today is already 10th of June. So it's almost 2 weeks, 11 days, 29th to 10th of June. It's 11 days.
Yeah.
Though it feels like forever, though. I don't know why.
All right. How about this, Bolahan? 2023 census postponed to avert national crisis, according to the National Population Commission.
Yes. It was obvious that the nation was not ready for that census. We've just finished an election. There were issues about a lot of IDP camps. There were other issues, even from the census people themselves. So it just made a lot of sense that in fact, the awareness was so poor that you're wondering if this should go ahead. What will it be? It will be most likely a grand failure. So it was a smart decision to have said, let's postpone this. Let the incoming government come and do it. And the incoming government is now here. It's now left for, at the appropriate time, sit down and re-strategize, replan, and then we should be able to execute a national census.
But remember this, we should have conducted a census
I think 4 years.
2016.
2016, yeah, that's when it will have been 10 years since the last one.
Yeah.
So we are about 7 years late, which is sad. But it's better to do it well when we do it than to rush into it and mess it up.
All right, Bola, did you see this coming? Tinubu suspends CBN Governor Emefiele.
I saw it coming a long time. In fact, I was even surprised that the governor had waited to be suspended. My thought was that maybe like a couple of weeks to the end of the last administration, he will have put in his papers and move on to other things he had to do. But he waited for whatever reason. I mean, it's his prerogative. So now, the message from the inaugural speech was very clear that I do not think what the president was saying, to paraphrase it is, I do not believe that your monetary policies, your ideas about how to run that place will accord with where I want to take the country. That message was very clear. So if the boss or the employer is already sending that strong message, it was my people will say when the host starts to offer the guest the head of the yam, the guest should know that it is time to go home. Because in my culture, you don't give the guest that growing part of the yam. You don't give it to them.
All right. And this one, Third Mainland Bridge. Well, in any case, just gone 10 minutes past 7 for your time check. Third Mainland Bridge. Federal government, Lagos government assess integrity, allay fears of motorists.
Yes, there had been some circulating message about a part of one of the pillars that the block or the formwork had been removed, and people were saying, could this be the same thing that happened to the Marine Bridge that they are bringing to Third Mainland Bridge? What happened to the Marine Bridge is very scary. It appears as if some people went under the bridge. Somehow they cooked that bridge, pulled out the steel, and cut the steel, and took them away. Probably they wanted to go and sell them. And that caused the bridge to almost, literally collapse. They had to shut it down. So when people saw what appeared as if a part of one of the pillars had been, cut away or chipped away, there was an alarm. But the government has said, no, don't be alarmed. That was not the same scenario we had at Marine Bridge. As a matter of fact, that was the government in itself conducting certain tests on the Third Mainland Bridge. It is a call to our sense of maintenance. We have to make that part of the essential culture so that an asset, a critical asset like the Third Mainland Bridge, will get its attention in due time. The number of portholes and some of those expansion joints and the rest of it that are having a few issues becoming a thing of concern. So hopefully government will step in there and put all our affairs to rest.
All right, Bola, this is scary, but it's also in the news. Russian tourist mauled by shark dies at Egyptian coast. Or resort, if you like.
Sorry. Well, a lot of Egypt attracts a lot of foreigners, a lot of tourists, so to say, every year, and quite a number of them come from Russia, incidentally. So it must have been one of those adventurous tourists doing all the water fun, but somehow got mauled by sharks. That's an accident. There was nothing anybody could do about it. And sharks are difficult to when they grab a prey. It's difficult to rescue that kind of a prey. I don't think Nigerians do this kind of tourism anyway. When Nigerians visit places, not to go shop. We don't go to the water to start swimming with the sharks.
So in dealing with a shark, it's not a question of this is not my portion.
No. Sharks don't know which one is your portion or not.
All right, let's move to the punch now. The first story is the Tinubu suspends Emefiele.
Yeah, it's a major issue. In fact, we'll begin to feel the effect of that by Monday because the market may start to even react preemptively to what has happened. There have been a lot of people, a sentiment in favor of his removal for a while now. So when that process has been jump-started, don't forget that the president cannot actually remove him. The president are suspended. Then the right process for removing him will be initiated so that it can be exited according to the law. The law does not allow the president to just remove him. So that process will be seen through to the end. The alternative is that he himself might help that process by putting in his letters. So that way we can clear that place, appoint a new guy. When the new guy comes in, as he begins to speak to issues of reforms in our monetary policies, you will see the market begin to react, especially as far as issues of foreign exchange management is concerned.
All right. Take this one. Pay National Assembly members sitting allowance, not salaries. Afe Babalola.
Yeah, there was a recent meeting that held in his university. I think it was Manufacturers Association and a few people that were there. And he used that opportunity to speak about the exit package or severance package that was, put in the papers as having been paid to lawmakers, members of the executive, and all the rest of it. Though in the real sense, if anybody goes back to that story and you read it, you find out that it was an empty, screaming headline. There was nothing about, when you take that big amount and you look at how much of these officials are severance package, you will know that is not where our problem is. I'll give you an example. The severance package for the president was 1.3 million. So that was definitely not the big problem that we are trying to solve. But by the time you put 1.3 million here, 1.5 million, 1 million, you put it together for members of the executive, you come to the National Assembly, 109 Senate members, 360 House of Rep members. It starts to add up to a large number, which is what the screaming headline took to town. But you see, there are more fundamental questions. One of it is to begin to ask ourselves whether we even need a bicameral National Assembly. Do we need to have 360 people representing the people in a hall, and then we have another 109 saying they are doing the same thing? What exactly is the additional value that a bicameral legislature brings to the table in Nigeria, apart from the fact that that is how it was, where we copied it from?
Yeah, but except that you think that debate is not easily winnable.
It's not winnable because the real people that will make that change are the people that are the same lawmakers.
All right, this one, Senate presidency. Clark backs Southern Christian.
Fantastic. Expectedly so. It makes sense that if you have president Muslim, vice president Muslim, that the Senate president, which is the third in the executive, should just naturally be a Christian, considering how sensitive we are. We knew what happened with even the Muslim ticket of the president and vice president in this country in the last election. To now add a Muslim senate president to it would have been an overkill in a very religious society like ours. Those sensitivities we need to bring it to bear at this stage. That's the way I look at it.
All right, Bala, a traditional father is belching something you never imagined. Traditionalists who tamper with my cups will join me, Olubara.
Olubara.
That's traditional
a threat.
Ruler of the Ibara people in Abeokuta.
Yes. There are certain cultures around the burial or the treatment of the body of a king that has passed away, at least in Yoruba land. I don't know about other cultures. In some of these domains in Yoruba land, they actually tamper with the body in some interesting ways. So that is what this particular king is talking about. Look, don't do my own body like you normally do other bodies. I don't want it. If you try it, you will join me. But I'm not so sure of how things like that will play out. I believe that when you assume those kind of responsibilities, you know exactly what you're walking into. And old culture, things that have been there for 300, 500 years, they don't disappear overnight. But maybe this is also going to be the beginning of the change of that culture in that particular domain. If, according to his threat, when he dies, anybody goes and try to do stuff with his body, if the person joins him, it might be a strong message, and that might be a turning point for that practice in that society. Maybe. Fingers crossed.
This is a crazy one. Frenchman bags 18 years jail term for burning alive pregnant teen.
18 years is too small now. How do you burn alive somebody and get 18 years for it? I don't know.
Pregnant.
Pregnant, for that matter. This must have been in France. Only in the West that you can get those kind of things. I mean, the sentiment should have been there. These are the kind of scenario in which you pull up the age-old an eye for an eye. You burn someone, a pregnant lady, young teen, you burn her with the pregnancy. What is 18 years? You should be made to join her, or for whatever you have done. Mm-hmm. It's such a sad situation.
Okay, let's move from the Punch to the This Day newspaper. A number of stories to share. Police, Amotekun, NSCDS, others rescues 13 victims from kidnappers in Ondo.
That's a nice one. The kidnap business has gone beyond the northwest, so it came to other parts of the country. And one of the places where we are always, where from time to time you hear the stories is Ondo State, for whatever reason. But interestingly also, the Amotekun structure in that part seems to be up to the task. And they've been making a lot of impact in moderating that crime and other crimes in that part of the Southwest. I'll say kudos to them, but we need to work more around the structures for preventing, beyond rescue. Because sometimes when these people have done what they did, there are casualties. So working more on the prevention, how are they able to successfully kidnap people and all of that will make even more impact than what we are currently seeing. Kudos to Amotekun and all the other security agencies that supported them in
at
this
least
speech.
The thrust of this story is that the collaboration
Yes,
can work.
It counts. In fact, without collaboration, we won't go far. It was one of the comments made by the president in his meeting with the security chiefs that in this regime, security operatives must work together. You cannot hold information to yourself. You share the information.
All right. This is similar. Zamfara governor vows to combat banditry.
Banditry suddenly took a new turn in Zamfara after the election. It went to, all those killings, kidnap, burning, increased dramatically after the election. Meanwhile, for several months leading up to the election, it was as if these guys were on holiday. Nothing was going on.
Surprising.
Immediately after the election, they came back and started all this. Apparently, some of the stories in that space is that the former governor had made a peace pact with them. We don't know what, at the cost of what. But there had been certain non-kinetic engagement that calmed things down. Maybe with a new government, they're trying to reassert themselves. To say, look, we are here and we can cause trouble for you. Whatever your predecessor did to keep us calm, you also come and talk to us and keep us calm. Well, I ask myself, for how long are we going to continue to negotiate with bandits?
Okay. To Rivers now, the CP, Commissioner of Police, warns vigilance group against torture of suspects and extortion.
That's a very sad dimension because we are in a season where this vigilante group have become very important, a critical part of the security architecture of a community. But you see, the problem with power is that it corrupts. So when you give them this power as security operative, they are armed, they are recognized, you start to see elements of abuses. So the way to properly structure these things is to also include the controls, the checks and balances to ensure that people that have been empowered will not abuse those power. For example, in the case of this vigilante group, is the issue of extortion and torture. You have no right to torture anybody. If somebody has been, arrested for a particular crime, he's supposed to be working in conjunction with the police. You hand him over for proper prosecution and sanction according to the laws of the land. But going out to go and start torturing people, what if you were wrong about the arrest you made? What if that was an innocent person and you start to torture? Even if it's not an innocent person, it is still the court. There are processes for establishing guilt, and you have no right to torture anybody. These are the problems with these groups, and I hope that the domains where they are operating, the leadership there will put in the right checks and balances to ensure that people do not abuse the powers that have been bestowed upon them.
At the same time, Gbolahan, we must reconcile what you've just said with the fact that mob justice comes as a result of what we do with the judicial system, the justice system here.
Yeah. When people lose confidence.
Punish people accordingly.
I agree 100% with you. It's typically the failure of the structured system that creates the unstructured approach to issues. When people start to lose faith in the efficacy of the former structure to deliver on its mandate, then you start seeing them taking measures on their own to dispense justice. It shouldn't be so.
All right, let's move quickly to the nation. And as we do that, let's tell you it's 26 minutes past 7 from the Voice of the People Radio, 90.3 FM on your dial. And we still are sharing the newspaper headliners with you. The nation leads with why Tinubu suspended Emefiele as CBN governor.
Well, I will need to read that story myself. I don't know the whys, but we could impute some of the whys from the antecedent of the governor himself and the comments made in that inaugural speech by the president. It was obvious from that inaugural speech that the two of them were not going to be able to work together.
All right, to this one, 10 rulers.
June 13, that is Tuesday, is the deal day. That is when the 10th Assembly will be inaugurated. And maybe from there we can begin to put to a final rest all this issue of contest for positions by the various actors. Lawmaking is about the citizens, about the country, and not about their individual ego and whatever else. It's not even about the political party. It should be about what is in the best interest of the party. We've seen what I can call a semblance of two extreme ends, where you have the example of the Saraki-led National Assembly, which was antagonistic to the executive. You also now have the Lawan-led, which a lot of people believe was too much a rubber stamp. The real work is somewhere in the middle of that. It's not a fight. The National Assembly is not in place to fight the executive. It is also not in place to rubber stamp everything that the executive presents. The real work is right where in the middle. It is to scrutinize, act as a check and a balance to the activities of the executive, and to make laws that are in the best interest, not of their party, not of the executive, but of the people. And hopefully we will achieve that in the 10th Assembly.
To this one, Bolaho, subsidy. Nigeria no longer father Christmas to neighboring countries, Tinubu.
Yeah, one of the problems with with subsidy and how it had played out is the fact that we have also been subsidizing the neighboring countries. There is no doubt about that, and it is easy to see why. If a product sells for 185 in Nigeria, but in all the neighboring countries, it could be as high as 500 naira. That is more than 300 naira incentive on the table on a single liter of that product. If you like, you can line up the entire policemen across the Nigerian border, and even add immigration and custom to join them and line up the borders. Those products will go out because on every liter there is a prospect of 300 naira across that border. So hopefully we have gone in the direction of removing the subsidy now. What we now need to do is to manage and moderate all the burdens that it will put on the people, especially the lowest rung of the ladder. There is no way there won't be some pains and pang here and there, but we can take measures, or what people will call palliative. And some people don't like the word palliative, make them feel like it's something beggarly, But then we need to moderate those impacts, and I believe the government is working in that direction. I was even delighted in the papers, or was it on the TV a couple of days ago, to see that Innocent has CNG vehicles. Innocent unveiled CNG vehicles. So CNG is being advocated as an alternative energy source. It's part of what is being discussed between Labour and the federal government. And here we are with Innocent saying, look, I already have these vehicles, trucks, buses, cars on CNG. So we can move this thing forward if we work together on where we need to go.
All right. Quickly to The Guardian now. Leads with National Assembly leadership tussle. Tension in APC over secret ballot rule.
Oh, okay. Maybe the assembly, this is not going to be open ballot, secret ballot. I don't know. The National Assembly has its rules, and I'm sure the voting could either be open ballot or it could be secret. Whatever it adopts, in the problem with open ballot is that people can see who you voted for. So if you are someone who believes in something, someone different, but because they will see you wouldn't be able to vote for that someone different. You will have to toe the line of the popular, of the party. Then this kind of secret voting will work better for you. You will rather, after all, nobody know who I voted for. But whatever the case may be, may Nigeria win come June 13. May the best emerge.
All right. Tinubu assents to electricity bill, okays states and individuals to generate power.
Yeah, those were some of the constitutional amendments that were made towards, that were passed towards the end of the last administration. After the constitutional amendment, you now need to take them to the state, and for each of those amendments that you have 2/3 of the state saying they are cool with it, then the president can sign off, and that is a final resting place for that particular amendment. So in the last few days, he has signed two. He has signed the one that increased the retirement age of the High Court judges to 70. And then this is the second one about generation of electricity. So states, the ball is in your court. A lot of buck passing has happened in the direction of electricity before. Governors say, no, it is not within my power to generate this electricity. Even if I generate it, I must upload it to the national grid. Now that has changed. You can no longer make it an excuse. As a state, you can generate, you can transmit, you can distribute your own power. No more excuse.
But this is somehow a modest attempt at
restructuring. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because what it is technically doing is taking some of those powers that have resided at the center, what you call the exclusive list, and taking them onto the concurrent. They say, look, the state level government can also pass laws and can take action in respect of these things. It is a critical part of the restructuring agenda.
How about this one? Niger Delta Amnesty Program. Monarchs accuse kinsmen of alleged fraud.
Of course. It's not them now. It's the way it has been going. It was recently, I think a couple of months ago, that there was this report about the fact that, they didn't pay because they found out that some of the people were collecting for 5 people. There were multiple payments to single individuals in the amnesty thing, which is one of the problems I feared the most about cash transfers, because the database could contain a lot of irregularities. If we're going to share out that $800 million that we went to borrow as part of the intervention, we must validate that database. And it is not difficult to validate. Give the database to me. I will validate it for you. Validating database is not a big deal. But not validating it could mean that 50% of that money will go to the wrong hands. That is the reality. And we know it is our country. An example is the amnesty payment that we've been making for probably a decade, only to come 2 months ago to say some people have been receiving 5 or 6 because we saw BVN pushed certain information out. That is who we are. We know ourselves. So if we want to do this right, we can do it right.
All right. Bola, a little bit of sports will not hurt us. It's Champions League final day.
Woo-hoo!
And so the question is, would Inter Milan thwart Manchester City's treble plan?
It could happen, and if it happens, the only reason it will happen is that Man City was unable to manage its pressure. Pep Guardiola had been in search of Champions League title at Man City
for some time now.
For some time now. And this appeared to be, he has been at quarterfinals, he has even been at final, but he has not won the cup. This is yet another opportunity for him to take that cup. So he will be under tremendous pressure. The players will be under pressure, unlike Inter Milan. So sometimes these pressures play out negatively on the team members if not properly managed. Apart from that, I think he has the best team right now in the world. And that team can beat any other team. Any other.
Bola, there are folks who would say that is arguable.
Is it? Well, he has been able to show it. Getting to the final of championship itself is not a joke. Beating Madrid as if Madrid were high school students. It cannot be a joke. It wasn't a fluke. To have won the league, won the FA Cup, and be at the finals of the championship, it couldn't have been by mistake.
This is not to push Inter Milan away.
Not to put Inter Milan away. Inter Milan has always, and the Italians for it, you can't wish them away. But I'm just saying that the drive, what is at stake, in my opinion, for Pep Guardiola, seems to be a lot higher than I will say the Inter Milan folks.
All right.
But in a few hours, we'll know.
Okay. Let's move to the Daily Trust. And this is a startling one. Yeah. But here it. Emefiele in DSS custody after suspension by Tinubu.
Yeah. He has been removed. And immediately after the removal, we saw the report that he has been arrested by DSS. That could also be something that is expected. It could be part of the, the president cannot remove him, like I said earlier. Mm-hmm. So removing him had to follow certain processes. And part of his arrest could be initiating also those processes. If he has been found to have done some things that are not particularly right, then certain process will take its place and then it can be removed. So that could be part of what is going on. someone is pulling up a dossier for him to say this and this and this and this are what we know you might have done that is not particularly right. So let's talk about it, and that way the right process to remove him will be initiated. Because for as long as he's on suspension, you cannot appoint a substantive CBN governor.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have to close out that if a new CBN governor is to be appointed. But for now, it's a suspension.
Okay, then. Hear this one. Kwankwaso denies Ganduje's allegations, speaks on Tinubu's ministerial offer.
Yes. Tinubu and Kwankwaso, they met in the UK. Was it UK or France? I cannot remember. Then in Nigeria, too, they've had meetings. Apparently, I think the president desires to bring Kwankwaso back into the fold. He was in APC just a few months ago. A couple of years ago. It was an APC, and he went back to PDP. From PDP, he came out again for NMPP. But as we can all see, NMPP's strength did not appear to extend beyond Kano or maybe a bit of Jigawa or something. So I'm sure he and Tinubu have been talking about something in that direction. I won't be surprised if he finds himself in a political position in the current administration.
Okay, fuel subsidy. Falana asks court to vacate order stopping strike.
Yeah, industrial court has stopped the strike that the Nigerian Labour Congress and TUC, that Labour was planning to embark on last week Wednesday. So Falana has gone to court, I believe, on behalf of NLC, maybe, asking the court to vacate that order. I don't know what the intentions were, but in my opinion, what we need to do is to continue the engagement that we are having. The Nigerian Labour Congress have presented its list to the government and said these and this and this and this are what we want. Government has taken the list and is discussing it and will come back to work with Labour in a tripartite tripartite committees to address each of those issues, and that engagement is meant to continue on June 19. So I don't know what is bringing up this issue of somebody trying to bring back the protest. Hopefully, this will be managed. It could also be that what Falana was trying to do is to ensure that the right to protest is not tampered with. Because there were people who felt, look, what federal government has done is to wanted to take that right away. But I don't believe that is what government has done, because government went through the right process. It wasn't as if he attacked them or what. He went to the court. So Falana has also gone back to that same court system to seek an alternative determination. So we await what will be the determination of the court in respect of Falana's suit.
All right, quickly, we move to the Tribune. The Tribune leads with this surprising one. Tinubu appoints Adebisi Shunubi as acting CBN governor.
Yeah, that's I think the most senior director is just to hand over and hold that space.
40, yeah.
Yeah, while the substantive guy is on suspension or until the new one is appointed. In most cases, new ones are brought in and not the one that is sitting in that becomes the CBN governor. So most likely we will start to see issues about candidate for right, even from before the suspension. I'm sure there are candidates that are jostling or are being penciled down for the role of the CBN governor. But we must first of all exit properly in line with the law, the current governor.
Okay, fuel subsidy removal. More mass transit buses and other palliatives to be deployed. Governor Makinde.
Yeah. So the governors have a huge stake in this subsidy removal, because part of the problem that their own revenue have suffered is the reality that NMPC for several months was not putting anything in the federation account. And it is from that pot that this state get all this allocation. For some states, the allocation constitute as high as 75, almost 80% of everything they spend. So it is important for them.
All right. The last paper on call this morning will be the Daily Post. And its lead story is 10th National Assembly. PDP's presence diminishes in North Central.
PDP's influence in the North Central.
Yeah, diminishes.
Yeah, it is diminishing when you consider the fact that the first PDP used to hold Abuja, FCT, with a tight fist. Today, it is Labour that is in Abuja. Plateau State, it's also largely Labour, though, you know. So places like Kogi, Niger is APC, Taraba. So largely, you find PDP thinning out in that middle belt. But maybe it can rebuild itself. It still has a couple of places where it has strong hold. At least they produced a governor in Taraba and Plateau, I believe. So it still has strong hold, and it can begin to rebuild its popularity. And it is by performance, I believe. So those governors that it still has in the middle belt, it can make them count for the people. And when they come back for re-election, they can point at those states and say, see where my governors are. They are doing fantastically well. And people could vote for PDP all over again.
All right. Very last story. Labour Party disowns rep-elect for commending Tinubu.
Yeah, that was one of the stories we took earlier. Of course, the Labour guy was so excited about the meeting that Tinubu had with the National Assembly. He couldn't hold it, and he had paid glowing tribute to what the president, the kind of engagement he had with them. Unfortunately, that was not considered to be politically swerve. There are ways in which politicians expect opposition members to talk. He wasn't speaking like an opposition member. That's why they've taken him to town. He's even lucky to have been in Abuja. If he is in Abia, we don't know. Maybe somebody will have tried to flog him or something, you know. But it is what it is. He imbued his mind uninhibited. But as a politician that is probably coming into that space for the first time, he will learn. He will learn over time.
All right, Bala, let's drop anchor. But thank you for another 5-star performance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then, the listener, if you were moved, or shall we say, if you were tickled by any story we shared, why not react now? 0700 903 903 903. That's the number on call. And please, when you get through, just keep the audio clear. Let it be a clear thing. Okay. 0700 903 903 903. That's our number. Let's get you talking. I think hello, good morning to you.
Good morning. Enjoy this will be calling from Ikeja.
Obi, good morning. Let's go quickly.
Yeah, for Obi Oga, the legislator that made comment that I saw yesterday, it wasn't a surprise. If you partake, you see all these members, they use some parties as a vehicle to get into where they want to get to. It was a grassroots, just Google Pachek, he was a grassroots mobilizer of APC in Abia State. He even made his brother, the minister, the junior minister of Mines and Power, popular in Abia when they were in APC. He's a grassroots mobilizer, so it's not everybody know about him.
Okay.
He knew Tinubu very well. It's not just, it wasn't a surprise to anybody.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very kindly. Yeah. What do you yourself say? 0700 903 903 903. Of course, The WhatsApp is 0700 903 9039. Drop your message there. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Israel.
Israel, welcome to the VOP. Hello, Israel.
Go ahead, Israel.
I want to say it's concerning the Champions League. You said Man City is eager. Also, Inter Milan is also eager because if we check Serie A this season, Serie A qualified for both Conference League, Europa League, and the Champions League, and they've won nothing. So I'm very sure.
This is the last straw.
Yes. It's going to be a battle of the titans.
Okay. You bet. You bet. All right. Is that all? That's all from you. Thank you. The shorter, the better. 0700 903 903 903. Which story caught your fancy? Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Welcome. Your name, sir. Where are you calling
from the tunnel.
Okay.
And I greet the wily old Jones and the brilliant Olojede.
All right.
I'm going the way of sport as well. Only that I am quite shocked that the two of you know about sport like this. There is no contest. They are the of full money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The shorter, the better. Football.
I think the match is 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 8
Today,
o'clock at
yeah.
night. Yeah. Lovely. I'm sure the Lagos streets will be literally empty. 8 o'clock.
All right. Another listener is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, please do us a favor. Keep that device out of it, please.
Yes, the device is off.
Yeah, your name, where you're calling from?
My name is Frank Oba. I'm calling from Ejibo.
All right, Frank.
Yes. I want to comment on the Emefiele suspension. I think Emefiele deserves the suspension, even a start, because Emefiele lied to the Nigerian people. He committed serious economic crime and crime against the people of Nigeria. I don't want to go into details. I personally have not recovered from the punishment Emefiele meted out to me through the banking process, where I couldn't even find money to buy food in my own bank. I think let them hold him for now and then investigate him properly. Let them further extend this suspension to service chiefs, the people who have compromised almost with these, what do you call them, bandits, Fulani herdsmen and all this, and crime of killing Nigerians continues even up to today. I think the suspension should extend to them. Let him sack all these people. Let us see if we can even find an end or peace to our land. I mean, in the interim.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right then. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number on offer now. Which story or stories caught your fancy? How do you react to it or to them? Let's have your your reaction. Bola, these are crazy times.
Really, really, really crazy time.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name, where you're calling from?
My name is Innocent Subsidy.
I hope you are innocent. Let's go.
Yes. Yes, I want to congratulate the president for removing.
I beg, do us a favor. Remove that listening device. I'm hearing me over your radio, please.
Okay,
Please.
my good brother. Okay. I want to
remove this thing. Remove this listening device, please.
Yes.
All right.
I want to thank the president for removing that Emefiele. It's a devil.
Oh, come on. Be mindful of the words you use.
Please. That is number one.
Please don't call anybody a devil here. Please don't.
Okay, please. Okay, I'm sorry. Then secondly, the man who confessed to the president for what he did should not be crucified.
The man who did what?
He mentioned
Who commended?
his own opinion. He
Okay.
told his what is in his heart. It's okay. It's normal. Even if you are in the opposition party and the other party does something good, you congratulate him now. It's not a crime.
Okay.
That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Emefiele should be prosecuted.
As a matter of fact, Emefiele is a guest of the DSS as we speak.
Okay. Thank God. Thank God he's there. And should remain there until the
No. Don't. The government knows what to do with him and to him.
Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy.
Thank
They
you.
know what to do. The president knows what to do.
Okay. Room for one or two more calls, and then we pack it all in. 0700 903 903 903. Bola, are Nigerians judgmental? And the man said he was innocent. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name, where you're calling from?
Oh, yeah, this is Frank Imobe.
All right, be frank with us. Let's go.
Yes, I want to thank your that Mr. Bolahan for that analysis he gave this morning. It was so comprehensive.
All right.
These are the kind of people we need in your studio to analyze issue to the best of their ability. My take this morning is on the issue of the political man, that's the labor man who gave comment. You see, the reality of Nigeria is gradually coming. I not crucify him, but he spoke. But as a politician, he should have taken caution. It's a lesson. He shouldn't have been so obvious because it's an opposition. He shouldn't come boldly like that to make comment, to begin to say he never knew. But as a politician, he has to take caution. It's a lesson if his party have decided to take an action. But on the other side, out of excitement, he made that comment.
All right.
But politically, it's not well there.
Okay. Thank you.
It's
60
not
seconds
Thank
are
you
up.
so much.
Many thanks. Yeah. Let's take one last call this morning. 0700 903 903 and 903. It is here. Good morning to you.
Hello.
Please, first
Hello,
of
good
all, if you want me to take you, remove that device. What you are holding back, please.
Okay, good morning.
Yeah, your name, where you're calling from, and quickly, 60 seconds.
Yes, I can. Sincerely calling you from Solo. I just want to say good morning to VOP. Yesterday I was trying to wish you an happy new year. That is because you have just clocked 1 year.
Okay.
And I wish
Okay.
continue to do this because it's the voice of the people.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't have any comment more than that.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Many thanks. Yeah. Bolahon, I think it's natural to end here.
Yeah, it's a good point to draw the curtains. And in all of this, may Nigeria prosper will be my comment. Subsidy is gone. Emefiele is gone. What and who is next? But let Nigeria progress.
Bolahon, I cannot forget this line. When you talk tough, you must carry a big stick.
It is very important. People must be able to see that you are sure-footed, that you know what you're going. So you will have to back your steps with action, your words with action.
Yeah.
And I think that decisiveness is what we are beginning to see.
And as the brother would always say, Nigeria what we do is simple. We look at contemporary issues, we interrogate the issues as they come. And this morning, Nigeria, a strike-weary country, when labor drops the ball. Get that right, Nigeria, a strike-weary country, when labor drops the ball. Of course, there's very little denying that removing subsidy on the premium motor spirit PMS or petrol was going to raise the national adrenaline. It was also bound to split opinion sharply in the land, that it was going to provoke labor issues not many suspected. But it did. Listen to this. Organized labor is a strategy meant to engage in collective bargaining for higher wages, job benefits, or better work conditions. Organized labor in our country became a national issue in the open era. It began in earnest in 1931 when a certain unputdownable railway worker, Michael Bonaventure Imodu, started the Railway Workers Union. It became militant in the country in the colonial period, understandably. It received government approval in 1942. Over the years, labor had been a veritable partner in progress, had been seen dining at the same table with government. At this point, politics was fused into trade unionism in our country. It is therefore not impossible to smell a rat when the relationship between labor and government goes sour. The NLC had issued a warning to the Tinubu government about a Wednesday nationwide strike if vexed issues were not thrashed out. Now we know that the NLC's threat has ebbed. Of course, a strike-weary populace, whether real or imagined, suspect there was an exchange of inducement from government. Suspicion, don't forget. Do you blame anybody for thinking this way? There have been instances when you thought labor was going to lose its cool and declare a strike. Labor bungled them all. It begs the questions. 1, is labor relevant in the scheme of things? 2, can we trust labor to come to carry the hopes and aspirations of the workforce in our country? And 3, has organized labor dropped the ball? Shall we have a conversation, please? And I have 2 gentlemen who have lived through it all, maybe not since 1933. In no particular order, let's meet and greet Tony Nwaje, journalist, administrator. Tony, I greet you. Good morning to you.
Good morning, citizens.
And we had to ask Bolahan to stay back. Bolahan Olojede will be a... Oh, okay. Wale Adekoya, the expected voice is here. Wale, I thank you for... Oh, come on, I didn't quite look up. Wale is a journalist and a national affairs commentator. Wale, I greet you.
I thank you so much, citizens. Yeah. A good time to be back in the studio. A lot is happening, especially in the world of the labor.
Mm. So, Nigeria, I said Nigeria a strike-weary country when labor drops the ball.
The way it is common, especially those of us in football, excuse me, analysis. There is a common saying that is, similar to madness when you begin to do the same thing the same way, and you ultimately expect a different result. The issue of strike, how it is done, when it is carried out, and so many other things in between, have them proven to be largely tainted. So these had submerged the country into series of most times unnecessary strike, or rather I will expect a measure of creativity in how labor makes the agitation and mount the expected pressure on government. As it were, we keep having them, but then the result had been almost insignificant, infinitesimal, and likely ineffective. So it is time that labor began to look for other means to make this country at least better for the workers.
Tony, how do you open?
In as much as I believe that the Nigerian Labour Congress occasionally jump into the fray, without really taking time to analyze the issues. In this particular instance, I think most times we try to paint labor in negative colors there, while exonerating government. In this
Who
particular
does?
case,
Who does?
most times Nigerians feel labor ought not to have taken this step, labor ought not to have done this. But in this particular case, the president, during inauguration, said subsidy is gone. I went through the speech, and there's nowhere subsidy is gone was written. And he just made that.
He spoke off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
Yeah.
And then the next minute, pump price. I went out that particular day to buy fuel, and I noticed that immediately, queues.
As if on queue.
Queue everywhere, and then the next morning, NNPC jacked up the price, just like that. Just like so. When we want to apportion blame, let's be moderate about it. The government, the president made a mistake. Then we may say the Labour made mistakes too. If I was the Nigerian Labour Congress president, I would take the same action.
Okay.
Because the president did not think it through. First and foremost, you must have the buy-in of the people. The harsh effect is noticed everywhere.
Tony, but subsidy on PMS. Oh, just a minute.
Right.
Subsidy on subsidy on PMS was like a can. A small boy kicking
yes,
the can.
I was going there.
So where you think the small boy kicking the can won't be tired at that point?
No. The subsidy must go. It's a consensus. Nigerians have agreed that subsidy must go because it cannot continue to enrich the few people that we don't even know. For how many years? Over 19 years now.
As if you knew it would change anything.
But at least let's know accountability. What we lack in this country? Every day we hear 1 point something trillion. Given to who? And so when we want to take it out, please let us know who and who benefited from this, and we don't want to know the quantity of the important. You must have the buy-in of the people. Subsidy must go. We agree. No wahala.
Okay.
But people, the harsh effect of you are feeling it already.
While Tony is talking about naming and shaming.
I actually wish to disagree absolutely with Mr. Tony. I actually would not understand.
Mr. Nwaje.
Okay, Nwajere.
Tony is okay.
Nwajere. I had to go for the safer one.
Yeah. My trouble is when you say Mr. Tony.
Okay, so I was simply saying Tony.
Tony, yeah.
Look, I also believe that unfortunately the current Labour as constituted had gone overboard politically, especially when they took that poisonal pie of publicly allying, accepting a political candidate. And that had also created a problem of credibility. Why should we be talking about how the president said it or not?
The immediate effect.
I'm coming, sir. In 2021, the PIB Act was presented before the lawmakers. 2021, House of Representatives and the Senate sat on it and passed it. In 2022, the Subsidy Bill Act, I beg your pardon, the bill came. As of Rep, 360 of them, the Senate, 109 of them, they passed it. This is the Nigerian people. Mm-hmm. And January 1, 2023, the budget came without subsidy. People spoke, people whined, they complained. The government of the day, the government quickly said, you know what? Okay, we'll hold it. We'll give you another 6 months. And that was why Mr. President had to send the then finance minister to go back to the Senate and beg.
We know this.
So,
we know
the issue of suddenness, arbitrariness, telling people how to prepare is just afterthought as far as I'm concerned.
You must.
The fundamental issue is that
government is for the people, not the
we all knew that this will happen as at June. Then maybe ignorance is no defense. As at June 2023, June 1, 2023.
Okay.
The money we had to spend, there was no carry subsidy. So whether Mr. President mentioned or not, is gone.
Okay.
So where is the argument?
Okay, so sorry. You took over from you took my time. So what I'm trying to say here is this: you mentioned labor affiliation with the political. In 2012, in this country, in Lagos here, where I participated, in 2012, Nigerian Labour Congress and TUC were part and parcel of that subsidy must go campaign.
But it's different. I know. I mean, adopting a presidential candidate who campaigned and told Labour that it will go.
I gave you your time.
Okay.
The truth must be told. Please let us take away politics.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So when I talk, I'm not talking
I'm
about
a journalist.
It's Nigerian Labour Congress.
Yeah.
But
Nigerian Labour Congress.
Hold on. Let me moderate.
What about TUC?
Tony, you are vexed. Don't go to court, please.
No.
But hold on. When the new Naira notes caused wahala in this country,
there was no Labour.
Where was Labour?
It was when, but you remember how the whole
thing went. You got the picture.
The university was closed for 8 months.
Labour later came and decided they would picket CBN offices.
Did they picket the CBN?
Before the picketing, everything. See, one thing I don't want is trying to color Nigerian Labour Congress in bad light because of politics. Let's be reasonable, because Labour will still be there. After 8
Tony,
years.
you are not a Labour man.
No, I'm not a Labour person, but I don't want it to look as if, okay, subsidy has come, so everybody must defend it. I don't do things like that.
Okay.
That subsidy has come, we must defend it. And those who are defending the manner it came should be painted black. See, I have said it again.
Yeah.
That subsidy regime must go. Let's get that one clear. It's the process of removal.
So what?
Listen, please.
So Tony, if you were president, just a minute.
What would you have?
No, hold on. Let me play the devil's advocate. If you were president, how would you have announced?
First and foremost, I would take my inaugural speech, assume office the next day. You must have the buy-in of stakeholders in this regard. The people are I'm not interested in
considering that the 2023 budget had no provision for it.
Who have been paying for all this? There's provision for it in June.
No.
No. NMPC has been paying. Let's get that fact. It may not be coming from federal government. Has any NMPC been remitting?
Does Labour know all this?
Why wouldn't they know? They know all this.
So what happened?
What did they do?
Why was Labour seemingly lethargic?
For 6 months.
See, that Labour is lethargic is not my business. Please, let's focus on this subsidy. The way it affects me is the way I'm saying it. I'm not affiliated to any politician.
Tony,
the way it affects me as a person. Because I belong to a political party.
Tony, are you not weary of strikes?
I'm not weary of strikes. If there's need for strike, let strike take place.
Okay.
That is what Nigerian government hears. Strike is what that's the only message the government, both states.
ASU strike achieved so much.
ASU strike, you see the way they messed ASU strike up. Till today,
who messed up?
The government. Because during Buhari's regime, the Labour was not. Labour is not respected anymore in this country. Let's be factual about it. It's not everything government says we buy because they have the resources to do it. It's maybe over time they didn't do their homework. I mean, they have their own issue. I'm not exonerating Labour here.
Okay.
But when you want to take an action that affects the people, please carry the people on. And don't feel like because you have people must be factored.
Before I react,
I know what I'm going through to buy this premium metal spirit. You are saying subsidy. I've never enjoyed that subsidy. I've never enjoyed it. So those people who are enjoying the subsidy, first and foremost, please let us know them. There must be transparency here.
Neither Wale nor I.
Let's not defend any political party. That's why I go off it.
Before I quickly react to that,
don't say
I want
political party, please.
I want him to give us
not him.
You can't give it. You can.
If you were. You asked the question. I'm not raising. I'm not asking you a question. I'm saying that the moderator asked a question hypothetically that if you were the president, how would you have handled?
I've answered. You want me to answer it again?
You dance as far as I'm concerned.
Answer it again?
Yes.
I said
specifics.
After my inaugural speech.
Yep.
I'll resume first.
Yep.
I'm at my inaugural speech.
I got that.
Just to give an inaugural speech, accepting to be president of the country.
Yep.
And then I resume.
Okay.
I will summon people who are in that field, who understand. And then you call the people in to have the buying of the people.
Okay.
You must carry them along. This and this is what I want to do.
Okay.
But you will feel the harsh effect of this. But this is what the government will give. Just to assuage the.
Okay, okay, that's the difference. Okay, thank you.
And you don't just
it's okay. Okay, citizen. You see, a nation that politicizes actions, inactions, and what have you, will always be in this way. My question is this: number one,
Wale, but know that, as I always say, the German diplomat and statesman, what's his name, Otto von Bismarck, said politics is not an exact science.
Absolutely, I agree. It's social science. It's okay, and it's not even a pure natural science. So now, as far as I'm concerned, in 30 seconds, here is my position on the subsidy matter. Just 30 seconds. Number one, it is not new. There is no suddenness in it. During electioneering, most of the major the candidates were united on the issue of subsidy going. Labour, as a matter of fact, were actively involved. And it wasn't an electoral issue while it was going on. It wasn't a campaign matter. So for you to now decide to even call the strike, knowing full well that the labor law about 21 days, if it's going to be national strike, minimum 91 days window, it wasn't met, it wasn't considered, it just called. So the sincerity of that purpose, has a large dose of politics, as far as I'm concerned.
So as far as we are concerned, the NLC dropped the ball there?
Absolutely, big time. And that should be a lesson for all of us. Let's say the government had done this, done that. But how about you?
I don't have a problem. So you're getting me wrong. I don't have a problem.
That's where I have the problem.
Tony, from now, we want to stop. We want to stop getting you wrong.
It's just the shock that came with it.
There's no shock. Since 2021, Labour was aware. They abdicated all along. There is no shock in any way.
If it doesn't shock you, it shocked me.
Well,
let me speak for myself.
No. What shocked you?
It shocked me.
Well, we are not discussing.
Hold on.
Okay. No. You say this country is how it affects me, not how it affects you.
No, it's about how it affects the people.
No, the people which I'm a member of, I belong to.
No,
this is my category.
I'm also a member. I'm also a member of the people.
That's me.
I don't represent the genes.
From my view, it was shocking.
Unless the meaning of shock has changed, please. How is it shocking? The matter has been on since 2021.
Except you're telling me.
Please, what was the position of the Labour when the PIB Act was passed? What was the position of the Labour, organized Labour, when subsidy was removed? Are these not the people? Do we begin to individualize or personalize it? Where has the Labour been? Normally, the Labour that I know would have done the bill became an act by Labour. That was when the strike should have taken place. They slept.
No. The strike should have taken place to say no, allow subsidy remain.
Absolutely. Because as at the time the president-elect or the newly elected president was talking, the law of the land did not give any provision but for Tony, subsidy.
Without speaking for Tony, he is contending that not the generality of Nigerians understood the dynamics, even as we sit here. So many people across the country have heard, yes, subsidy is gone. But to ask the pepper seller, waiting be subsidy, she go ask you, what is?
That's also subsidy. The feeling of the Labour. The Labour represent the market seller.
Why
the Labour. We are discussing Labour. Because we are discussing Labour.
Why are you exonerating government? That's my
government.
Yes, many years. I've listened to you for
the issue of government. It hasn't come. We are discussing the Labour angle.
Hold on.
You should rather ask me.
Hold on, gentlemen.
You should rather
20 minutes past 8. That's the time. Let's let the listener understand that we're looking at Nigeria, a strike-weary country, when Labour drops the ball. do Nigerians understand the dynamics? What does subsidy mean to the Nigerian? When you remove subsidy, when you stop paying subsidy on the premium motor spirit, what does it also mean? Wale, Tony is saying via the National Orientation Agency, for instance, Nigerians should have been intimated.
I agree. The Ministry of Information should have, the Labour should have, even the presidency or the president on social media, he has at least 2, 3 fantastic people handling that space. How much have they done? They didn't do enough. Now the Labour, whose ultimate fundamental job is to talk to her members, did not, especially when it mattered most. That's my position. Assuming when the people look at Labour was in this country when PIB, I was against it. You can thank God for social media.
Let me bring Tony in. Tony,
where was Labour?
For Tony and Wale, 4 refineries are down in this country.
And Labour are never going to strike on any
But
of them.
do you know that workers in these 4 refineries keep getting paid? And Tony, you don't expect Labour to go to town?
I don't like this issue of as if I'm defending Labour. I'm not here.
No, but I'm not suggesting that.
No, you just mentioned 4 refineries not working. Who takes the blame, please? It's a question. Who takes the blame for that?
Government.
How
But
many?
what's at that point, Tony? Okay, all right.
We've had our refineries being maintained year in year. I mean, regime come, another regime comes, and we keep talking about maintenance of turnaround maintenance of our refineries, and we spend trillions of naira doing so. There's one currently going on. This is a country where we have NNPC, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation without without an
Please
active,
put the L
limited.
now. Okay.
Without an active refinery, we import petroleum products into this country.
Decidedly.
So let's get that clear. I don't support this. We keep doing that over the years.
Shouldn't
We keep doing that,
Labour?
and we're paying something.
But shouldn't Labour?
Labour has failed many times.
Okay.
I'm limiting my issues with Labour on this particular issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Labour, they failed over many times. Many times that Nigerians look up to Labour, they failed them. But in this case, I aligned with them with that action they took.
Okay.
I aligned with them.
But the promised strike was dropped.
They strike again. Government went to National Industrial Court, and the court ruled in the favor, and then the strike didn't hold again.
Yeah.
And so for me, because the strike didn't hold again, can we just let this Labour issue just rest? Because the strike did not even hold in the first place. So,
but it's the intent that matters.
No, it's not the intent.
The intent matters. The intent is as terrible as the act.
I said earlier, I aligned with them, but the strike eventually did not hold. So it shouldn't be an issue.
It shouldn't be an issue.
For
me,
so
citizens, it has.
Wale, you're always taking my time.
I've not spoken in 2 minutes. I'm not aware of time.
It's all right.
Okay, are we timed? That's why.
Tony,
when you speak, I don't.
Tony, Nambi say.
But you are here for a speech.
Wale, it means if his people send Tony to the National Assembly, he no go fit. Take part in a debate. No, he doesn't say so, but allow him his time. Let him talk. Let him make a point.
Okay, you do the floor.
Yeah.
So I may talk now.
Yes.
Okay, apologies for that. The point I'm making is that Labour, as presently constituted, had not shown that we have a Labour we can trust. All my life, all my university years, and since I left university over 25 years ago, I have been a Labour man to the core. I've been beaten, battered, and stuff about Labour. Bruised badly, big time. However, the current Labour leadership, as presently constituted, had to be reorientated. Who does this? It's your law. It is your show. You know about it. Look at the issue of the window, the notice, a national strike. So these are some of the things. And I said in conclusion about this, my final stop on the labor matter is that, one, during the elections, Labour was partisan. Fair enough. And the position of the partisanship was also anti-subsidy. So whether the president mentioned it before, during, and after, subsidy was on as at that point in time. So now we are here. How do we manage the situation? How will Labour go back to maintain its the integrity and the credibility? Because as it is, they dropped the ball.
Or for that matter, how would it save its face?
Its face. Oh, thank you, for a better use of word. Because Labour dropped the ball big time, badly, and they need to actually retrace so we may go back to have the Labour of our dream.
Yeah, Tony, for the avoidance of doubt, Labour, is a strategy meant to engage in collective bargaining for higher wages, job satisfaction, and so on. Over time in this country, Labour had been known to chicken out when you expect Labour to come to the fore, and so we are a strike-weary country.
I agree with you.
You have said governments over time understand the language of strikes, but strikes have become a way of life. It doesn't hurt government anymore, or so it seems.
Hey, see, I don't have Labour. I'm not a member of the Labour Congress, and I don't want to overhit the issue.
Introduce that you as one.
The truth is this: Labour over time, truth be told, even the so-called workers they represent most times are dehumanized in their, at their workplace, and then Labour, most times, Labour, doesn't even come to the rescue. So we know all this. Labour over time has failed Nigeria. There are instances, cases in this country where we expect Nigerian Labour Congress to come to the rescue of Nigerians. You don't see Labour there. You don't see Nigerian Labour Congress there. But my issue is the manner of the subsidy. I support the president for taking this bold move. I support him. But as I said earlier, the manner is a strategy adopted in sending that message is what I have issues with. And you can still see the ripple effect everywhere now. In days to come, except government steps ahead with maybe palliative or whatever, because I'm yet to see even the palliative we're going to set in motion. Before the people start feeling the effect, it's going to affect the prices of everything. And this is a country that still earns 30,000 naira as minimum wage. Let's be factual. Let's be real about this.
But there's
so I don't have issue with the present administration taking that step.
The president has mooted the idea.
It's just the process. He has mooted it. It has started. So there's nothing we can do about it. But it doesn't stop me from making my point clear.
Well, it's about the power of innovation, power of creativity, power of invention. Citizen, look, that action taken on May 29, you could see the ripple effect on even the surrounding neighboring countries. It had actually shown that we have been a terrible Father Christmas all year long. But beyond that, we are not, a man must not live by bread alone. It doesn't have to be petrol. I'm happy with the narrative on CNG now, the natural gas option. And now is the time for us to know that, yes, it's painful, nobody wants it, but it's a decision that we must take, or that has been taken, that we must live by. Now, how we walk out of it. I heard about converting vehicles from petrol inclined to natural gas, so that which is even at 130 or 135, 170 maximum per liter.
Yeah, well, it's 830 now. Go on.
So those other avenues must be exploited. Subsidy on transport. The government should build school. Transportation takes a large chunk of worker salary. How would individuals who deserve it be reached out to from Nobife, from even the TUC we've not mentioned? So those are some of the ways. Now is the time to get that thinking cap on and see how we can save motherland Nigeria.
Yeah, we cannot but go back to January 2012, when at Ojota, Tony alluded to it, we thought it was one opportunity of doing away with this subsidy wahala. But again, we kept kicking the can down the road. Tony, for once, subsidy had to be jettisoned.
Yes. Again, I support it.
Yeah. But
That's the
yours is the modus.
Yes.
How?
Yes. Just as Wally said.
Yes.
It's done. So we should just move on.
Okay.
So we move on. My problem now is every time government is telling people tighten your belts, we just have to do this together. No problem. We've been doing that for years. I'm going to throw the question back to the government or officials of government. If you say the people should prepare for the effect, what is government doing in this regard? In this same country, we have two arms of National Assembly, the House of Reps and Senate. These people, they sit down there every day doing practically nothing. They collect humongous amount of money at the end of the day. Meanwhile, we have not been able to sort this issue of salary increase for workers. That's why I said I have issues with this. Because if you want to do that, first and foremost, you have to consider that fact that if we push this move now, what will be the ripple effect on the people, especially those who are earning below poverty line? Why not first and foremost, let's do it this way, increase their salary? We've been doing that.
Tony and Wale,
we must cost down cost of governance.
Okay.
The president, I've seen it.
You talked about having a bicameral legislature.
Yes.
Don't you think Labour has a part to play here?
You see, I did not elect anybody in the Labour Union, but I have a stake with our leaders.
Tony, because you are a worker. Whatever Labour does affects you in the workplace.
That's where, see, the only issue I said again is with the subsidy. I have no problem with Labour. The problem I have, I'm not a member of the Labour Congress, and whatever they do within their union doesn't affect me. Because we know what the officials of Labour union, we know the antecedents. So I don't want to stay on this issue of Labour. I am still taking it back to government because they dropped the ball here.
Okay.
When you say people should tighten their belt, what are you doing? People have been sacrificing their lives for government.
Right.
You pay yourself. So, what is the big deal in paying? Increasing the salary. If you want to do this, take this kind of move. Let's just, what is 30,000 for credit? What is, if convert to dollars?
Okay.
So these are the issues. It's like putting the cart before the horse. Get these people involved. Okay, how do we take this? We are not, for me, I don't want to talk about labor because it's not my business. Labor affairs with government, they start today, and I have never rated labor.
Wale, so we are all in this together. That's a popular phrase. We are all in this together. I remember Wahab Goodluck days as the Labour president, which Hassan Sumonu was also a Labour president. No less so Adam Oshomole and so on.
Pai Modu himself.
Pai Modu started it all. I grew up knowing about an Imodu who became militant during the Oyibo era, and so Labour has come a long way. But the trouble here, the tragedy here is for a Labour in Nigeria that has come a long way to still have a long way to go is a tragedy.
Absolutely.
Tony,
I know, just like the Nigerian government itself. It's the same thing. The same thing applies to all.
Since
we're still crawling.
The focus of the discussion is actually on Labour.
But gentlemen, is there a right?
Let me just
hold on. Is there a right time to do a wrong thing and a wrong time to do a right thing?
Itself. That's the same way government can reinvent itself. It's possible. They work hand in hand.
For me, quickly.
So there's no
did
there's
has been
no
done?
wrong time to do a right thing.
Absolutely, at all. So it's gone now. Is how to find solutions on how to work, and they've both done that. We should let our listener know that there is a preparatory committee that has been set up that involves the government, the organized labor, and what's the third part now? That by June 24, go meet Fashion Ways and come back that June 24 on the drawing board to intellectualize and let's see how this we want to call it palliative intervention, whatever it is, can come. So between now and then, let us watch. And see
but Tony is saying, don't lock the stable door after the horse had bolted.
Of which I disagree fundamentally. I'm still disagreeing because it didn't start today. I believe that if Labour is serious at all, this battle we're talking about now ought to have taken place in 2021 when that 2021. I mean, I'm even talking about now because that was when in 2012 there was no law even backing the subsidy whatever. So somebody will ask, what has changed? What has changed are the laws, not even a law. The PIB is an act of the parliament, and it was followed smartly. So while government was strategizing, Labour was slumbering. PIB Act was passed right under your nose. You didn't do anything significant. Subsidy Act was passed. You kept quiet. There was an election, a bitter, hot campaign. You didn't take a position. Rather, you aligned with a candidate who had told you, look, I'm for subsidy removal. You didn't say anything. A new sheriff came to town and you're now talking about, that's the issue I have with Labour. Let it be on record. But having said that, there's a window, June 24. These combatants on court place will come back to the table. Till then, Labour will have a position. TUC, which I don't usually support. They happen to be the MVP. They came with an agenda. We want 200,000. What would that do?
That's a monthly salary.
Monthly salary for workers. That pushed the stuff on the government, the pressure. It's the government that will now be saying, no, 200,000 is utopian, is impossible, but let's do this. So they have initiated something. NLC, as we speak, what is their position? None. But we have June 24, where all these people will come to the table. So I'm watching, I'm waiting.
Tony Wale is telling us about that window. But Nigerians are a people in a mad hurry. They can't wait for that window to open.
I don't think Nigerian people are in a mad hurry.
Okay.
They suffered enough. Nigerian people have been raped by government over the years, except you don't accept the truth.
Yeah, but over the years.
See, so
over
when
the
you
years,
want to carry out an action,
yes,
please factor in the people first. Like now, government is doing this. This, for me, that's what they're supposed to have done first. Because they will still do it. So why not do it first? Why put the cart before the horse? It's simple. They are doing it now. Why not do it first? Engage the people. You can't change my mind. See, you engage the people first. You engage, no matter what you say.
Wale,
you engage the people first.
No, hold on.
They are doing it now.
Hold on. Tony requires a superior logic here.
Okay. Are they not doing it now?
No,
listen. Okay. I'm still. Right, are they not doing it now? This is what I'm saying. This is what you ought to have done. Sit down. This is what we're going to do. This you benefit. The action we're going to take, it will benefit all at the end of the day. I know that's what will happen. That is what will happen. That is what will happen. You know how these marketers behave. The next minute they've adjusted their pumps. That is the annoying part. And nobody's addressing it. You bought this as a
No. At this point, who should have faced
the GMD came the next day and adjusted the price.
Who should have kicked first?
Labour, and they did it wrong. That's what you're saying. They said okay, they want to go on strike, but that strike didn't take place. So we should focus our attention on how to get this thing, how to get the country and people out of this quagmire, because we are in it right now. The effects are everywhere. That's my position. That we're supposed to have done this and we're doing it now. I'm saying
Citizens.
it was wrong.
Okay, 20
I mean,
minutes.
we're saying the same thing, but we're saying the same thing.
Since you went
When
back,
in
no,
wrong-
we are not saying the
no,
same thing.
No, I
No,
don't agree with
I think
you.
it's my
We are
time
not
now.
saying-
Since
you
it's
are
turn by
saying
turn,
government- No,
I need to.
No, I've not finished.
We don't have.
You say it's your
We don't
point.
have forever.
All right.
We do not have forever. You've spoken for 1 minute and 5 seconds. Okay, how will I know when it lands?
No, when it lands,
You will tell
know.
me. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry about it. Okay, please, when you land, let me know.
Again. Go ahead.
When you because
No. Tony, don't,
I didn't know. I
That's
didn't
one
know.
thing I hate. I don't like.
If-
But can go ahead.
Tony-
You've done it twice.
No.
Yeah, don't drop the ball, please. Take your point home, Tony.
When I make my point, when you speak here, you don't say I don't interrupt. But but when I speak, it touches you. You kick. It's wrong. That is my opinion. My opinion.
No.
Listen,
Then, no. You can't do this on radio. You can't tell. I've been a broadcaster all my life. You cannot come on radio and be giving me advice on how to do. I'm not aware.
It's my opinion. It's my
You
opinion.
don't have to
Don't
do
tell me I
it
don't
on
have
national.
an opinion.
No, you don't have to do that.
No, I have
here.
to do it because
Is
that's what you're
if,
doing.
If you are a practitioner, no, I mean coming to say you don't.
I don't need to be a practitioner to know that you're infringing on my rights.
Okay. Well, that may be personal.
speak.
It's not like we have a time limit to speak on the show. That you have to do 30 seconds and I'm infringing.
We have
When
the
you say, I do
time.
not
We
say-
have 45 minutes.
So,
That's what I'm
but when
saying.
you, I mean, for discussants to speak, I wouldn't know because I think it's okay, it's all right.
You're not just comfortable with what I'm saying.
Maybe the moderator will tell us when to talk. It's not a problem.
All right.
But then I want to quickly react to
Go
this
ahead.
one, that the statement by Mr. President
Regarding
subsidy removal is not sudden. It was not done in any way that is arbitrary. The matter has been on. We were supposed to start this January 1, 2023. Because of uproar complaints by people, the ordinary people, the government extended by 6 months. And that 6 months, when it came, I do not agree that it still should be done in any particular way. That is my position.
all right. As we take it home, Tony, I want you to take it home for us.
Again,
Yeah. Paraphrase.
government- okay,
Paraphrase it. Yeah.
an elected government that just assume office should understand the fact
Barely
that it's
two-
a new
barely
day
2 weeks
that has
old.
been. Yeah, we understand that. I mean, I know what the last administration Buhari ought to have started this, but then you're coming as a new. I mean, give the people a little relief, so we can say it's a new day. At least let us breathe a bit. That subsidy must go. It's a consensus. For me, I say again, and I say this again, and I'm going to say it tomorrow. It's wrong. The strategy was wrong.
The process
It
was tidy.
Was tacky because they didn't tidy up this.
Okay.
First and foremost, let the people be considered. Now they are feeling the effect, and nobody's even addressing it yet. Let's be realistic here.
All right. Nobody is addressing it yet, Wale. At the forefront of addressing it would have been Labour. Not really echoing your sentiment here, but how do you take it home?
Labour abdicated when they should be addressing the matter over 2 years ago. Secondly, they forgot their job and rather went politically. They went political, I beg your pardon. Also, people are talking about it. I think it would be unfair on the tripartite committee that has been set up to sit, review, analyze, strategize, and come back June 24 to put a position. So I think people are talking about it.
The committee should be thinking like Tony,
Absolutely.
thinking for the people.
Absolutely.
All right.
And let politics be.
It's 8:45. A time to swing the microphone over to the listener. If you feel up to joining issues with us, raising new questions that must have escaped all three of us, this is the time. 0700 903 903 903. Let's go. A first voice is there. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sir. This will be calling from Ikeja.
Obi, you are on. Welcome.
My question for Wale. government is a country. If Buhari have started something, this subsidy of a thing, he would have put something in place before the new.
Are you there?
He's under 11 days. He has done a lot. That is exactly what happening to Ajajero's led NSC. Within the time, he was not in charge when PIB, everything was going on. He was not in charge.
Thank you. God bless you.
He has shown leadership since he came in.
Ajaero wasn't the president then.
He indicated what they call CBN when the monetary policy and the Naira design, and they made them bring back the old notes that released people. He ticketed the airport when something happened. He ticketed, and they started paying. He has tried his best since he came in. It's not the same thing. What the president is doing now?
60 seconds are up. Thank you. 60 seconds are up. Thank you. Yeah, so what do you say? Nigeria is strike-weary country when Labour drops the ball. Do you pick holes with what Labour is doing? What's your reaction? Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
I greet you, sir. Your name, where you're calling from.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen Jones. You are doing a good job. I want to quickly comment to those people trying to put in debate. Tony is making a great point. The truth here is that Labour cannot be crucified. Before the president, we all agree that subsidy will be removed. Everybody have envisaged that. But what are the things put in place to alleviate poverty problem? As we speak now, the society is under tension. The government should, even for the first after his inauguration speech, he put people together, the stakeholder, the marketers, the NSC, the TUC, they should have come together in a round table, have a discussion, then before he throws it out. Just immediately after his inauguration speech, what happened? Outside was filling stations were blocked because of fuel increase. That was where the error is. Labour has no issue. Labour has no issue at all. Because the present man in control of NSC is an action man. So he has done it outrightly. But nevertheless, what they should have done first is what they are doing now, according to what Mr. Tony is saying.
Thank you. All right, 0700 903 903 903. Nigeria is an already strike-weary country, and is Labour living up to its billing, please? Good morning to you. All right, let's try another line. The line is open. Let's keep talking. At a time like this, men's souls are tried. Good morning to you. Caller, are you there? Your line is open. You're on air.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, please speak up, I beg.
Okay. Mr. Citizen, good morning.
I greet you. Your name, where you calling from?
Yeah, Ibeto from Surulere.
Okay, Ibeto, you're on air.
Thank you so much. I've been enjoying your conversation in the studio. In fact, all of you have been drinking a very hot tea this morning. But on a nutshell, yes, I know we're discussing about the oil subsidy and the labor. To be honest to you, there is there is a masquerade that has been, every time the king will say we'll mask the masquerade. But on the day of masking the masquerade, the youth wanted to do it by force. They say no. One old man came and said, no, please. If you forcefully mask this masquerade, there is a certain smoke that will come out that will make the people blind, that will make everybody run haircut. Please take it gently. And that is how they took it gently. They unmasked it, and everybody went home finally without any harm. So that is on one side. Well, we understand. We have no choice. We have to take it on. We move on, no matter how it is. Then on the side of labor, I remember
60 seconds are up. 60 seconds are up.
I'll round up. I remember during the military time, labor was very strong. So how come this time around we have a very weak labor? Thank you so much, my brother.
All right. Weak labor. Is labor weak
Yes.
That's the submission of the last caller. The line is open 0700 903 903 903. Good morning. Welcome.
Hello?
Welcome, sir. Your name, where you're calling from?
Yes. Yes. Good morning, Citizen Jones. This is Samuel calling from Ikeja.
Samuel, welcome.
Yes. I greet Mr. Tony and Wale.
Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Tony, then they greet you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Citizen Jones, this issue of subsidy, for me, right from the beginning, I said this is an organized crime against the citizens of this country. And the government, what they are trying to do now, this is like what Mr. Tony said, this is what they should have done before making that decision. And now you are talking about labor. Most time labor will come out. I ask this question and nobody is answering the question. What is the percentage of the government workers to the other workers that work in private sector? That oftentimes you will see labor telling a government talking about the minimum wage, and in which the minimum wage they are only talking about
60 seconds.
Workers.
60 seconds.
So now somebody is saying that they are bringing a mass transit. The bosses they are talking about is only for government workers. What about the people working in the private sector? How are they going to manage themselves?
No, Oga, a quick correction. Hold on, a quick correction. The buses are not meant for Lagos State workers.
Or government workers.
I said government workers.
No,
the buses are not for government workers alone. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Oga. That point must be made clear.
Absolutely.
I know these are times that try men's souls, yeah. 0700 903 903 903. Everybody is entitled to his opinion, but not everybody is entitled to his facts. Let me take one or two more calls. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Citizen Jones.
I greet you, sir.
God bless you. I've been keen in listening to the discussion. I think Mr. Tony there has said it all. Before now, the labor group or whoever they call themselves were not just there. And the new man that is in charge of this labor now, I think he's going to do the best for the citizens of this country. So Tony has said it all, and that is my stand. God bless you.
Bless you too. Okay then, we'll take one last call. Let's take one last call. Nigeria, a strike-weary country. Can we continue like this? Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Joe.
Yes, sir. Your name, where you calling from?
My name is Mr. I'm calling from Ikotin.
You're on air.
Mr. Tony and good morning, Mr. Wale.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, you people are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
About the subsidy and the labor, Mr. Tony is right, Mr. Wale is also right. Now, the point is that, like Mr. Wale said, these things have been here for a year. The labor is not called for strike. It is now they are calling for strike. And Mr. Tony also supported the removal of subsidy. He was saying the army is wrong. I think it's time you call a spade a spade. But the advice of the government is to take the masses into consideration for their coming palliative. Thank you very much.
All right. We will drop the anchor here. Tony, how do you?
I say, again, I would just beg the government to, whatever they're going to do, to alleviate or cushion the effect of the subsidy removal must be swift. They shouldn't waste time. The Nigerian people have gone through a lot, and we expect that the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu will bring succor. It's so unfortunate it came this way, but I pray and I wish that it takes the voice of the people, serious. Please, that's why I want to anchor it.
Yeah. Wale, how do you close?
Citizen, upon inauguration, the new president had no choice but to continue because it doesn't have such powers to even tamper with the act of the parliament. So we move. Having said that, politics is over. Governance should be in place. All the people, callers, listeners, opinion leaders who have wonderful ideas, the time to put that in writing is now through labor, TUC, state, federal, local government, so that these wise men who have been mandated to return to the drawing board June 24 should get a feel of some of these ideas. And the solution does not lie only with the federal government. How many percent of labor work with the federal government? Individuals, employers of labor should also have it in mind, because we all play victims. But then the evil that an ordinary Nigerian, from the market seller to the banker, does to one another is also a problem. So let's just come together and see how we can, raise the notch.
Thank you, both of you. But in closing, gentlemen, let me recall what a former British Prime Minister, David Cameron, that's his name, Tony, Wale, you remember when he said, if the amount of money stolen from Nigeria in the last 30 years was stolen from the UK, the UK would cease to exist. Wow. Of course, I cannot on the hand. And the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, diabetes is worse than corruption. So it tells you anything that beats diabetes, Tony and Wale, must be out of this world. So we have seen enough, according to Tony. We have worked enough, but we have failed to learn lessons. We can't keep doing the same things over time and expect different results. Even the madman will not do that. So on behalf of the Backroom Boys, led by Thank God, that's his name. He's the producer. I want to thank him for his time and so on. And we'll be here